I want to manifest our joy, our hope, our potential.
Do you want to get married?
I'm not the one you need to impress.
The Queen of My Dreams is a dramedy. It's a mother-daughter story. The mother and daughter are at odds. When the father dies suddenly on a trip to Pakistan, the daughter has to travel to Pakistan for the burial, and it's through that we're transported to flashbacks that were really kind of pivotal moments in both the mother's life and the mother and daughter's life. So the film takes place in 3 time periods in 2 countries, and there's music and a lot of love.
And this is late 90s, is that right?
Yeah, the 3 time periods are the 90s, the late 80s, and 1969 Karachi.
And how personal a story is it, Fawzia?
You know, the lead character, Azra, she's queer and Muslim and Pakistani and from Nova Scotia, Canada, and suddenly lost her father on a trip to Pakistan. So there's a lot of those similarities, and that's personal.
True to your own story?
True to my own story. But otherwise, the film is inspired by collective history, collective memory, and fantasy.
I have to talk to you about the Bollywood element. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, the Sharmila Tagore and all that. How did you grow up with Bollywood?
Yes, you know, I grew up in a small town in Canada, Sydney, Nova Scotia, very rural, white fishing town, coal mining town. And, you know, it was during a time when you had to go to a different city, to the big city to get your groceries, and also to get your entertainment. So my family would come back with, you know, lentils and rice, black seeds, you know, and also movies. So, you know, we watched a lot of movies in our household, and I think that was a way for my family to connect to country and culture and country. And, you know, that was instilled in me, you know, the life, the fantasy, the romance, the color, the vibrance. And so, yeah, I always dreamt of falling in love in that big, dramatic way.
No, it's beautifully done, even though it's slightly, there's a kind of sad context of her having to go back to Pakistan and all that. But Sharmila Tagore, is she a big icon of yours?
You know, the song Mere Sapnon Ki Rani, which is from a very famous Sharmila Tagore film from 1969 called Aradhana, where she stars with Rajesh Khanna. That song was really the kernel of the connection. I loved the song, and I used to think that, you know, one day I'm going to fall in love and some guy is going to sing that song to me. And then when I came out as queer, I thought, oh, okay, well, some woman is going to sing this to me. And then I realized, you know what, you know, maybe I'm the queen of my own dreams. And that sort of sense of self-love replaced the need for the fantasy to look any one way. The fantasy is us, me, exactly who you are.
And there's a lot of humor in the film. There's some great one-liners. I mean, I think you used to write comedy or be a stand-up.
You know, I've done improv. I did improv in Chicago. I love comedy. I write comedy. I have done a little stand-up, but that's definitely my background is comedy. And I feel like in anything dramatic, there's always humor. At every funeral, people are always laughing, crying. So one of the biggest successes to me for this movie is when someone recently told me that they were laughing and crying the whole time. I was like, that to me is just the complete range of emotion that I want.
So tell me a little bit, can we explore the mother-daughter relationship? Obviously that's central to the whole film, and the kind of, there's a lot of love, but there's also a lot of tension.
You know, I find it fascinating because when we're trying to manifest something we want in our lives, we're always saying, you got to think positive. But when it comes to filmmaking, it seems as though the stories that people want to tell are traumatic. They center trauma, especially when it comes to queer people, Muslim people, women's stories, the South Asian stories. The stories that people think are the most important are trauma-based, trauma-filled. And to me, I want to manifest our joy, our hope, our potential, and our vibrance. And so centering our hope and our potential and our joy, I think, is really important, because how else are we, if we don't see that, how are we supposed to be that?
I think that's important. And you shot on location in Pakistan. Tell us a little bit about that and how that experience.
Karachi is a beautiful, wild city. It is, full of incredible people, generous people. The crews are exceptional. We had a great local team helping us, Carol Narona and Kamal Chima. And, they brought us together with an incredible kind of cast of characters who helped us. We shot for 25 days, 6 weeks. An incredible local art team.
And so tell us a little bit about the casting. You weren't tempted to cast yourself, because I've seen you in Signature Moves, which is which you wrote, but was that ever a thought?
I have definitely retired from acting. Maybe for the right role, for the right offer, I'll come out. But it wasn't meant for me to star in. This film was meant for me to write and direct. So Amrit Kaur, who stars in the film, is an exceptional talent. She brings just such spark to both characters, playing Azra at 22 and Azra's mother, Mariam, at 22 in 1969. There was nobody else for this role.
So tell us a little sort of about the music. I think that's a great part of the way you tell the story, and it really has resonance.
Yeah, I love music in movies. I think music immediately evokes time, place, nostalgia, memory, and not just mine, but yours, right? Like, I have so little work to do if you already have 10 memories that pop into your mind from a song. So the theme song, is Mere Sapno Ki Rani. But then, there's a lot of licensed music that gives us time and place. Some of it is South Asian, some of it is Western, some of it is Pakistani, some of it is Indian. It's really kind of blending the worlds the way that, our identities are blended when you come from more than one place and grow up in one place and have to move to another. So that was really intentional.
And how did it feel bringing it here to the UK, to London now?
I mean, there's such a representation of the subcontinent in London and the UK in such a beautiful way, with, complicated history. And the way that film was met was amazing. And so I could not have picked a better international premiere than the London Film Festival. So I'm so excited for our screenings this weekend. And, we have one of our stars, Nimra Bucha, lives in London. She'll be with us. And there's just such an incredibly talented, rich swath of folks from the subcontinent who I know are going to be in the audience this weekend.
And how do you feel the South Asian community reacts to these, the LGBTQ issue?
I mean, I don't know how they're going to react, but I hope they love it. So far, so good. But I think there's a lot of layers that I'm very sort of, I'm a Pisces, so I'm, wear my heart on my sleeve. And so I think that's in the movie. So hopefully that's met.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I wish you all the best.
You do look just like your mother did.